Hello, this is Johnny from securitytutorials.co.uk, and this is my video on the introduction to scanning. So what's the scanning methodology? Now these are the steps that you take in order to scan systems. Now the first one will be to check for live systems, the next one would be check for open ports, the next one would be banner grabbing, prepare your proxies, scan for vulnerabilities, and draw network diagrams. Now, checking live systems is often done through a ping sweep, and it's checking which systems to attack because you don't want to just attack systems that aren't there. You want to check for open ports to determine what programs or services are running on that computer. You would do banner grabbing in order to determine what versions of the software or services that are running. You want to prepare your proxies, and in case you're a suicide hacker, you want to remain anonymous to your victim. You want to scan for vulnerabilities. Now this is only done in an internal network because it's very noisy and it's very easy to get caught by the intrusion detection system or intrusion prevention system or the network administrator. Now you want to draw network diagrams if you're a penetration tester, because of course a hacker isn't just going to give you a detailed network diagram of your network. So the terminology. The first terminology would be the network scanning. Now this is to identify the live systems, and it's often done through a ping sweep, which sends ICMP packets to each individual IP address. So say if this is 192.168.1, this is 192.168.1.2, this is 192.168.1.3, and it goes on. Now what the attacker would do is say a ping sweep. So it'll be like, okay, is 1 open? Yes, that is the router. 2, yes, a computer is there. 3, no it is not. 4, and then you get the point. It just keeps scanning the network and finds the open systems. So port scanning is determining which applications or services are running on the system. The next one is vulnerability scanning. Now this is determining which exploits you can use and what vulnerabilities there are in the computer. Now this is very noisy on the network and it's very easy to be detected, and you shouldn't do it unless you have permission and you know what you're doing. So war dialing. Now this is very outdated and it was used in the past. Basically it dials a range of phone numbers between a certain amount. Most of the times it's automated, and what it does is it determines the tone. Now if you remember old modems, they would go and that certain tone, it would recognize whether it's a router or if it's somebody else's phone. And if you remember the old dial-up, you know how it works. Now some companies, not very many, use this as an emergency admin access if the system goes down, if the network goes down or whatever. And it's a good way to get in. So what are the tools used for network scanning or mapping? The first one is NCAT, HPing, Nikto, Bidyblah or Yeti, and that identifies the different exploits. Rapid7 Expose, and it's very noisy and it's made for internal scans by a network administrator who has permission. It's very easily detectable. NetDiscover and Nmap or Network Mapper. This is probably the #1 tool within the hacking community because it lets you do a range of different scans and it's very versatile. So this is very important to know in scanning, and what this is the three-way handshake, and it's the TCP three-way handshake. So what this is that this, if the attacker and a server want to establish a connection between each other, the attacker would send a SYN packet over, and then the server would say, okay, a SYN ACK, and then the attacker would send an ACK. Now this is the acknowledgement packet which acknowledges the connection. This is very important to know because this is sort of how scanning works in TCP-wise, and you would often see this, say, when you're connecting to your wireless router, you would send a SYN, the router would send a SYN ACK back, and then you would send an ACK in order to establish the connection. Now this ends my tutorial in scanning, and I hope you enjoyed it.